Yeah, welcome back to another Blue Jackets game reaction. This one for game 41 for Columbus. So, Blue Jackets officially at the midway point in their season, and they played a game that was very symbolic of the first half of their season thus far. They competed in this one, definitely got some good looks, had some promising signs from the youth on the team. But a couple of blunders by some guys who the organization definitely wants to perform better in crucial moments of the game, especially in that third period. You had some mistakes that were costly that we'll get into. That kind of leaves a solid effort it has a feel that is a bit wasted here, where it's, well, yeah, you want to take good things from it, but the actual result of the game that didn't have to be as bad as it ended up being is kind of staring at the fan base right in the face, and just there's no getting around the sting of losing this kind of game, even in this kind of season where we've already accepted that, okay, yeah, the playoffs probably not in the cards for this one, but still, not seeing the team not be able to close this one out was definitely stinging. This result at home, for some reason yesterday, I thought when I did my last Blue Jackets game reaction, I thought this one was going to be a road game, but it was a 4-3 overtime loss to the Minnesota Wild. Once again, they were looking to be well on their way to a win late in that third period with a lead, and then they blew. We're going to get right to that third period, where I will go over the other stuff that happened in the rest of the game, but this, I think, is the meat and potatoes of this one, with Cole Sillinger getting a deflection on the power play on Adam Boqvist's shot to complete his hat trick to make it 3-2 with 5:45 left in the game. Where Cole Sillinger, he's been, kind of bubbling under the surface the past few games, where he's gotten, a goal here, a goal there. His line has looked good. It all came together, though, in this one for him. There was no denying him. First hat trick and his first multi-goal game for Cole Sillinger since March of 2022 in his rookie season against the Vegas Golden Knights. He scored in a variety of ways that I'll get into, but back to the third period here. After that, it was all about the Jackets trying to be able to close this one out to secure 2 points in regulation. And for a little bit, it was actually going fairly well. Got to a point where Minnesota had to pull to an empty net. You had Chinakhov getting absolutely robbed by Fleury on a save in the third period. That happens again in overtime that we'll get to, but that could have ended the game right there. But, for Minnesota, it was when it went empty net, because as soon as the Flower started to leave the net, Justin Danforth got on a break where Fleury has to race back to his net, and he dove after the shot. But I do think that Marc-Andre Fleury's efforts got in Danforth's head a little bit, as Danforth's shot missed the entire net, just missed the net completely on the empty net shot attempt. And as bad as that miss was, as much of a lowlight as that is going to be for his career and across the NHL for this season in general, like if they do a compilation of NHL lowlights, that one's certainly going to make the list. That sequence alone doesn't mean that the Minnesota Wild have to score another goal to tie it. That was still yet to happen. That that missed shot didn't put the puck in the net for the Wild. There was still a sequence that had to lead up to that. But Ivan Provorov had the puck, and he threw it right to Hartman in stride for just an unacceptable turnover. Like, he had time and space. Nobody was just on the verge of creaming him with a huge hit or anything. Just kind of threw it in a bad spot where really the entire opposite side of the ice was open for business as far as being able to throw the puck over there. Honestly, it would have been better if he would have just iced the puck from where he ended up turning it over. But Hartman was able to throw it to Johansson, and he walked Jiricek, by the way, and he threw a backhander that trickled past Daniil Tarasov. Just an absolute Murphy's Law event, where even after the Provorov turnover and Jiricek getting embarrassed, maybe you still want Tarasov to have that save. And what was, what looked like initially to be another really solid game from Tarasov, but it was kind of a meltdown at the end for him, just like it was for the rest of the team. So the game is tied with 90 seconds left, and the Jackets limp to overtime. The Wild honestly almost got the go-ahead in regulation a couple of times, and Columbus got their fair share of chances in the 3-on-3, but the Flower was in full bloom in this one for the Wild in net. Chinakhov once again robbed in overtime. Nothing Chinakhov could do but laugh at just the absurdity of some of the saves that he was getting robbed on, and Fleury had a couple great glove saves, and the Wild defense, when Fleury was giving up rebounds, they were doing a pretty good job of making sure that the Jackets weren't able to capitalize on some rebound chances, clearing the puck in absolute must-have situations. And then in overtime on the other end, Marco Rossi, a slap shot that beat Tarasov, who was just, a split second late getting over, and Rossi snuck it by. Assists from Boldy and Faber on that one. You had Marco Rossi also preventing a goal from Adam Fantilli earlier in the third period when Fleury was actually stripped of the puck behind the net by Justin Danforth, of all people. So Fantilli getting his shot denied by Marco Rossi when Fleury was way out of his net. Fantilli also denied on a breakaway early in the final 20 minutes of the game. So Adam Fantilli, while he didn't get a goal on the scoreboard, certainly creating chances for himself late in that game. But someone who was not denied for the Jackets, as I mentioned, was Cole Sillinger. I mentioned and went into detail on his third goal, but he scored 1 goal per period, doing so in a variety of ways. The first one in the first period was just a tap in from him on a really nice feed from Jake Bean. He had to hold his stick in the right spot and basically just Bean's pass found the perfect location to go off Sillinger's stick and into the net, with Boqvist getting the second assist on that one. He had 2 assists in his first game back. I mentioned in my last game reaction that I was potentially a little bit worried about Boqvist trying to, find his rhythm once again after coming back from injury, but he picked up right where he left off when he went out with that shoulder strain. He didn't miss a beat. He drew a penalty the third period too that led to the go-ahead goal from Cole Sillinger. That would eventually not be a go-ahead goal anymore, but Sillinger's second goal came seconds into the second period, starting with Marchenko making a tremendous play, forcing a turnover in the wild zone, and then finding an open Sillinger with Cole burying the shot when he was in the slot there. But Columbus never really able to expand on any lead that they got throughout the game, with Minnesota power plays getting equalizers in both the first and second period. Both of those power play goals from Boldy. But honestly, the kicker of this game was what transpired in the final 2 minutes of the third period, and the unbelievable yet all too predictable overtime loss that came with it. So, props to Marc-Andre Fleury and the Wild defense. I mentioned that Fleury was on his game, made some good saves, and that Wild defense, they were there to pick up some of his rebounds, and Marco Rossi making that unbelievable stop on Fantilli's shot. That was definitely a contender for play of the night right there. But there's going to be a lot of missed opportunities that this team is going to have to go over and talk about in that locker room when they look back on this game. And they did get, they got 1 point, but when you have that lead in the third period that you do have late in that game, you definitely really want to see yourself being able to get 2 points no matter where you are in the standings at whatever point in the season. You want to see that kind of growth, and that's something that's been an issue for this Jackets team really all year, is trying to secure lead and lock down games. This is just another example of them not being able to get that done. So I think that's going to be, I guess, a long-term goal for the second half of the season, is to figure out a way to just not get into a panic mode where and not have all these things go terribly wrong, where all in 1 second you're in the lead and then all of a sudden you're losing in overtime or losing a 1-goal heartbreaker at the end of regulation. But that's for the Jackets to figure out. That will be for that's all it's going to be for me in this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far into it, feel free to leave a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed the video and you'd like to see more like it. I do some game reactions for and kind of sort of give my reactions to other stuff going around in other Ohio sports. Maybe you'll like those videos as well. But once again, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you at the next one.